Hi everyone, I'm Space Cat. This is how I talk. Tony isn't in the store right now. I'd tell you where he is, but I don't get fed for a few more hours, so I don't care about him or his well-being until then. The good news is I've got to watch him do the show this year, and I think my friends and I can handle talking about a movie. So today we're going to talk about Homeward Bound. Yeah.
We're talking about tapes.
I just watched this with these two stray dogs that were hanging outside of the store. Can you two properly introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm an English bulldog. I don't really have a name.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of dog I am. Something stupid, probably. I don't have a name either.
Bulldog, I'm going to give you the name of my owner, Tony.
Wow, is he famous?
No.
What can my name be?
Are you a man?
Yes.
You can be Joey C.
Wow. Is that a manly name?
Yes. Anyway, let's talk Homeward Bound.
Wow, Homeward Bound, what a great film. As a stray dog, I would just randomly hang out in different video stores. I've watched this film a lot. How about you two?
Yeah, I caught my old owner watching it a lot when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it, and I was happy to rewatch it this time as an adult dog.
Yes. You know, when me and you came into the store to hump each other for dominance, I didn't think this cat would let us watch this movie with her. And it's the first time I've revisited it in a long time. And it was a great experience. You know, I think it still holds up.
Yeah, seeing as I'm ancient, I've seen it like a million times, so it's lovely to share with you guys.
I'm happy to report that I only cried a few times during this show. That's it.
Well, that means when we do hump each other for dominance, I'm definitely winning later. Now, Space Cat, was this a big part of your kittenhood watching this film?
For the most part, I've definitely seen it a handful of times. Clearly, I'm pro everything about the cat, because cats are superior in every way.
The human, Sally Field, voices Sassy. I think, Space Cat, I think that is a stupid name for a cat. And if I
think it's a wonderful name for a wonderful lady.
No, I think if I was a cat, I'd be so embarrassed to have that stupid name. But I liked Michael J. Fox. He does the voice of Chance. And Don Ameche does the voice of Shadow. He was my favorite. What do you think, Joey C?
Yeah, he was awesome. He was like the token old guy. He was so cool.
Yeah.
I love his buttery smooth voice.
Now, have you guys ever seen those movies that humans watch with like the spaceships and the laser swords and all those? Star Wars, I think they're called.
Of course.
I think I have passing the television store on the street.
Well, this was directed by Dwayne Dunham, who was Boba Fett. He's the first person. Boba Fett is that green human who wears the green suit. He was the first person to play Boba Fett in a Star Wars film. He was an editor on those other human movies, Indiana Jones, and he actually ended up editing for David Lynch, who is another human I know who's currently going through a divorce. So ladies, he's single. And he ended up editing for Twin Peaks, which is a great show. And then he directed, I'm not familiar with this movie, something called Halloween Town. Are you too familiar with this movie?
I don't think so. That sounds very familiar, though.
Space Cat, do you like Halloween Town?
Love Halloween Town. Tony doesn't, though. I don't know why he refuses to watch it. I guess
I'm sorry, Tony me, or Tony your owner?
My owner. I wouldn't talk about you.
Oh.
Wait, your owner, Tony, doesn't like Halloween Town?
Nope, he's never seen it.
What? That's like
I know.
That's like a sin.
I know. Thank you.
That's like concerning. Shame on that,
Joey
Tony.
Sea Dog. I thought a minute ago you weren't familiar with this movie. Now it's a sin to not watch it.
No,
If I didn't know any better, it feels like you're an actor who's breaking character because he heard something he couldn't agree with.
No, man, I am a dog. A very manly dog.
Much like me.
Eh.
Now, did you guys know this was a remake of another movie?
I
It is?
did not, actually.
Yeah, it was a remake of a film called, I think, it was just called The Incredible Journey. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's actually watched it. I don't think anyone has ever watched the original movie. I know the dogs and the cat were different species, and I don't think they talked in the original. which I think is ridiculous because, as we all know, dogs and cats, and apparently only dogs and cats can talk to each other because we're doing it right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Now, this was written by a human lady called Caroline Thompson, who I believe wrote Edward Scissorhands and The Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride Bark. Space Cat, does your owner who lives in this video store talk about movies, has he reviewed some of those films, or does he have a review coming for one of those films?
Honestly, I don't even know what he hasn't reviewed at this point. Except for maybe Troll 2. I keep hearing this one annoying girl come in sometimes and just pester him about it. Supposed to like do it with her husband or something. I don't know.
Also co-written by Linda Woolverton, who wrote that movie Beauty and the Beast, and everyone knows that after that movie came out, white women suddenly became more attracted to us dogs. Joey C,
That's
did you
what
know?
I heard.
Did you know there was a time where white women didn't try to make out with their dogs and make their whole personality around them? But then
I
this movie
couldn't
came
imagine
out.
that.
Yeah, this movie came out where a woman falls in love with the dog man, and now white women are insane. Have you heard about this, Space Cat?
I thought it was Robin Hood that did that.
No, Robin Hood created a different problem. Robin Hood
I don't know.
created...
Seems in the same league for me.
No, Robin Hood got human men into fox people. That was a little different. And then the guy who wrote The Lion King did some ghostwriting on this. I personally don't enjoy The Lion King, Joey C, because it's a movie about cats.
I agree.
Space Cat, I feel like you might be biased and you might enjoy The Lion King.
Who doesn't?
Well, me and Joey C, we don't enjoy it.
You two don't count.
If it was called The Wolf King, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But yeah, I guess let's talk about this film since we all watched it on a VCR that we somehow figured out how to use and program.
Well, cats are smarter than dogs, so like I easily figured out how to do it. I don't know about you two.
Well, dogs rule and cats drool. Wolf.
Yeah, dogs rule, cats drool, Space Cat. Yeah, I bet you've never even been to space. What idiot came up with that name?
I'm gonna pee on his bed later. That's what I'm gonna do.
So the movie starts with Chance, played by Michael J. Fox, and he's telling his backstory. He was a stray, much like me and Joey C.
That's right.
He went to the dog pound, which I've been lucky enough to avoid the dog pound my entire life, even though I do a lot of illegal dog things. But he got thrown in the pound, and he eventually got adopted. And let me tell you, that's a phrase that I hear humans say. Let me tell you, he's the worst dog I've ever seen. What do you think, Joey C?
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk. He's kind of gangster, but I feel like the closest he ever got to the dog pound was with Snoop Doggy Dogg. This guy's he's kind of like an immature jerk. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's like bragging about ripping up their underwear and shit. And
Absolutely no manners.
yeah, and Sassy,
He's
played by
kind of
Sally
suicidal
Field.
too.
Yeah,
Eating
Sassy
turkey all the time.
Sally Field, she was in another human film called Mrs. Doubtfire, which is Space Cat. Do you know about this film, Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, my owner made me watch it.
It's the most ridiculous premise in the world. This guy dresses up like a lady and tricks people who know him into thinking he's some different lady. I'm like, only an idiot would fall for such a plan, and only a psychopath would pull off such a plan.
I'm just saying the guy who pulled off that plan must be an absolute genius.
But anyway, Sassy gives Chance a bunch of shit. Like, none of those animals are really thrilled with Chance. I'm curious why he's even there. Other than maybe the owners knew that Shadow was getting up there in years, and like, well, we gotta get a replacement dog. Sassy is Hope's cat. Although they say in this film that the humans belong to them. So Hope is Sassy's human. Chance is Jamie's dog, and Shadow is Peter's dog, and they're all like kind of similar in age. The kid's mom she's marrying Ted from Airplane. I assume their dad is dead, but I totally forgot. I haven't watched this since I was a young pup. I totally forgot that Ted from Airplane was in this, and now I kind of really want to watch Airplane.
I heard it's a classic movie.
It's a classic film. It's a classic film. There's going to be a running theme throughout this whole thing where like Shadow is just trying to get Chance to stay in line. He's like, dude, can you not be such a dick? So they're having, by the way, why aren't these like animals locked up during the wedding? Like if you have a dog that's that big of a problem, why wouldn't you like put it in like the garage or something?
Well, as we get along in this movie, these owners suck.
They're pretty bad owners.
Awful people.
Now, I mean, I can't relate to anything because me and Joey C are, of course, strays. But yeah, these are not the best owners. They don't give them enough attention, I feel like, or they give them too much attention. No, there's no balance of attention here with these owners. But this is a case where they should be like, hey, let's lock up the dogs. Like, I'm sure.
Or put them outside.
Or put them out. Well, they were doing more damage
wedding was
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were outside.
Tied them up and put them outside. Put them on a lead.
Yeah, you just tie them up and put them outside. I did live with a family for a brief period of time. I remember they went away and they just tied me up to a tree with a big food bowl and then they disappeared for 2 weeks. And I did fine. It rained a couple times, but I did fine. Is that not normal for a human
That is
pet
not
owner?
normal.
I didn't even get left food, so that was like luxury right there.
Wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah, you were like
Joe-
living in a hotel. You even got a free bath from the sky.
That's right.
Usually
That's
I
right.
got a fire hose to me.
These idiot cats are licking themselves. They don't know that the sky will just clean you. It's great.
I hate water.
It is annoying when it turns nighttime and it gets really cold, but that's the price you have to pay for a free shower.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
we find out that the family is going to San Francisco, and the animals are going to stay on the ranch for a while. And I don't know, that sounds great to me.
That sounds like
fucking
a vacation.
Sounds like heaven if you're telling me. And I know it's good because I've known a lot of other dogs and cats, and I've heard their owners say that they're going to a farm, and I never see them again. So they must be having a great time there. Have you ever known an animal who went to the farm?
I have not.
I had a friend who went to something called the Rainbow Bridge. I'm not sure where that is, but I'd love to go sometime.
I'm not familiar with that one, but apparently that there's a farm upstate that a lot of animals go to. And they must love it because I never see them again. I mean, I don't know how to get there. I don't have an owner that could send me there. But I feel like we should all go to a farm upstate one day. What do you think?
I completely agree. That sounds fantastic. You even get free doctors who will massage you on a table.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Space Cat, do you think your owner would be in the mood to drive 3 animals to a farm upstate?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it was worth a shot, Joey C.
I'd love to go anyways, Wolf.
I'm starving. I can't remember when I had my last meal, and I'm an orphan, and I'm weak, and I'm helpless, and if you don't feed me, I'll shrivel into a pile of bleach.
So yeah, Chance is doing the worst at trying to get food from people. He's just begging too much. He's invading their personal space. Sassy does this whole thing where she's like, let me show you how I get food. And she pretends that she doesn't want it. Is this a good strategy, Space Cat?
It's a perfect strategy. Free shrimp.
So do you go up to humans and pretend like you don't want food in the hopes that they'll give you a treat?
No, I normally go up and say, give me a treat, and I get a treat. Also, my food bowl needs to be laid out perfectly. There can't be any too much on one side. Like, it has to be completely laid out evenly.
Why are you cats like that? As a dog, I understand that the food is in the bowl and it's easy to eat. Why are you so up your own ass that it needs to be flat? I don't understand you cats.
Because I'm a queen, and I deserve to be treated as such.
See, me and Tony are good with like Vienna sausages in the corner of the floor with crumbs on it. We're okay with that.
Yeah. Sometimes we go to a Little Italy and a chef will leave spaghetti and meatballs out for us. And sometimes me and Joey C eat the same string of spaghetti, and then we get really, really close, and then we bite the shit out of each other because I deserve that spaghetti, not Joey C.
That's right.
That's
He's
why-
the dominant one. That's right.
That's why I'm the dominant one.
And then we go out back and eat the dessert in the grass.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Is the life of dogs real intriguing to you, Space Cat?
Not at all. Meow.
So I don't like this line of dialogue here. where Sassy says cats rule and dogs drool. I thought that was offensive and it should have been deleted from the movie. What do you think, Joey?
I think you should get over it.
I think
Wow.
absolutely it should be deleted from the film. That is propaganda that I will not support.
It's anti-dog propaganda.
It's suppressing my people. Our people, Tony.
Yes. Chance eats the wedding cake. I could have told him that was a no. By the way, I've seen dogs get punished way worse for way less. I don't know how Chance got away with that whole thing.
He got off real easy.
He really did. Because he's literally not in the doghouse after this. After this, Hope is trying to play with Sassy on a seesaw, which I don't think cats are into that. And Chance fucking catapults this cat into the stratosphere. Yes! Which is the thing that I know as a dog. I don't know how I know that, but I know that.
Probably overheard it somewhere.
Yeah, and my question is, how have they not put this dog down yet? Because it's a new dog. It's not one that they're really attached to. It's clearly an asshole.
Not a good fit for the family. I'm surprised they did not take him back at all.
I don't know what their deal is. I don't know why they're keeping this dog around. It's a problem, and they already have enough animals as is. So yeah, they go to the ranch, and okay, I have a question about Chance. I mean, we understand a lot of pop culture references because we hang out in video stores, and that's a totally normal thing for us to do, and a reasonable thing for us to know. But how does Chance know what like Batman is? Because he calls himself Bat Dog. Later on, he calls like a turkey like Turkeyzilla. So he's aware that Godzilla
It was
exists.
Birdzilla, actually.
Birdzilla. And then towards the end, he's like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. How does he know
Yeah.
all these pop culture references? It doesn't make any sense.
He does call out McDonald's as well. He says he'll never eat a McChicken or a McNugget ever again. So yeah, this dog is educated. He's traveled the world. I think that's the thing.
Maybe like in and out of dog pounds, you know, he's seen a bunch of shit. I get it now. I get it. Thank you for answering me, Joey C.
Of course.
Yeah, so they all think they're being abandoned, and they're like, wait a minute, this is messed up. Now Peter's like, we'll be back next weekend. It's fine. Turns out that was a lie. They're coming back in 2 weeks. And I know that animals get really, really sad when their owners leave for 2 weeks. They don't just immediately attach onto whoever else is around and pretend that they're the best person in the world. Actually, dogs don't do that. Cats do that. Cats will be like, oh, you're my new best friend. You're my owner. Please take care of me. Dogs will actually wait for their original owners to come around.
Yeah, I overheard from my owner's friend that her cat, when they were away for about a week, decided to give the person watching him biscuits and like cuddles and everything. And normally that was just only for the owners, but it did look like he missed them when, you know, they got home because he was just up their ass apparently. But like, you know, still felt a little bit betrayed.
Well, you never know. When a human leaves, you're like, oh no, am I going to starve to death? And then there's a new human. You're like, I have to be nice to this human so it gives me food. But then your old human comes back who's more reliable, and you're like, okay, now I got to be extra nice to them again so they don't leave me again. It's a gamble being an animal who has to deal with humans.
Sounds like a lot of my past relationships.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
Nice until they feed me, and then be nicer to the one that I really wanted. It all works out.
It all works out in the end.
You only have to get
Joey.
abused a couple of times to get your food. No big deal.
I mean, what dog hasn't been abused on
That's
the
what I'm
street?
saying.
Yeah, it happens. I'm sure cats get abused all the time, and they take it like champs, right, Space Cat?
No.
Oh, well, that's
Right.
Spark.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. So the only one who seems to really be enjoying the ranch is Chance. He's having the time of his life. And I feel like they should be, like, he's not attached to the family like they are yet. So it's like, who cares? There's chickens to chase. There's animals to play with. And of course, Sassy's picky about her food because apparently it's not microwaved.
Needs to be heated up.
But why?
Why not?
You don't hunt. You never hunted anything. You've never eaten like
Instinct.
stupid. Just eat the goddamn food.
Cats are so picky.
Me and Joey C would be like Shadow and Chance. We'd be devouring that stuff.
1000%.
I do feel really bad for Shadow because he's an old man and they're just leaving him at this ranch and oh yeah, we'll be back in a few weeks and it's like, well, what if he's not alive anymore?
Yeah, back in a few weeks. My man's gonna have a stroke
Like-
in the field over there.
He's so old and he's just like, who's gonna protect you when they leave? And I'm just like, oh my god.
Hey, look, he has enough life left in him. He came back for Homeward Bound, Lost in San Francisco.
That's right.
His voice actor didn't. His voice actor, I think, died before this movie came out. But he made it back. The character made it back. I really related to this when they put the phone to the dog's ear, saying like, "Say hello to your owner," and the dog's like, "I don't know what they're talking about. I hate when humans do that. I don't know why they think we can hear what's on the phone."
I never understand a thing when they do this.
Me neither. But you might as well humor them.
They said though too, whatever, when they were moving, that it was gonna be a smaller house. They totally could have brought the cat.
It looked like there was enough room for a cat in that
There was
place.
definitely enough room for the cat.
But you know what? That would have showed favoritism, and it would reinforce the cat's rule, dog's drool slur,
Maybe you
a
guys should
hurtful
learn
statement.
to, like use a toilet or something, because I have my own little box that I can go into and use.
Yeah, how often do you use that, Space Cat?
Don't worry about it.
Do you use it all the time, or is it just optional some of the time?
It's optional. I do what I want. Meow.
Because I think I've heard stories of you just deciding that the litter box was too inconvenient. And, doing it on the front door was a lot easier. So
It was.
maybe the sassy in
Where are
this
you
movie.
getting your information?
Don't worry about it. I might have passed by the store and heard an angry Italian man yelling at his cat.
And laying down carpet protectors.
Yeah. I feel like I heard him say there's only one goddamn carpet in this house and I have to put plastic over it. I think I've heard those words a couple times, Space Cat. Maybe you should use the goddamn litter more often.
I'm gonna do what I want.
I feel like Sassy's a lot like you, Space Cat, and maybe that's why they left her on the ranch. The rancher leaves a note for her neighbor who's going to take care of the animals. And wacky sitcom shenanigans, a gust of wind blows the first note off the table. So now the note reads like she's taking the animals with her to a cattle call. Because that's where you want to take a house cat and 2 dogs. To a fucking cattle call.
Dude, she's babysitting, and then she decides to get a babysitter from the babysitter. That's just irresponsible.
This family left her with the worst person. They're like, "Hey, will you take care of our animals?" And they're like, "Yeah, my friend will take care of your animals." They should be like, "That's not what we said. That's not what we said." Also, do they not have neighbors who could just feed these things? They had to drive them all to a ranch.
A ranch that was a far away distance.
Yeah.
There's no way there's not a neighbor, at least a mile the other way.
Yeah, anyway, Shadow decides, you know what? We've been abandoned, and it's time for us to go on an incredible journey, much like that movie, The Incredible Journey. And then the other 2 animals go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "No one's ever seen that movie. Who cares?" And they take off. Now, Chance originally was reluctant to go on this incredible journey.
Yep.
Until Birdzilla showed up and scared the shit out of him.
Scared me too. That thing was horrifying.
That was pretty scary. Yeah, so they take off on their incredible journey, and somehow they make it to the top of a mountain without getting winded or tired. Or covered in leaves and sticks. That's the most unrealistic part. They're not covered in leaves, sticks, or dirt or anything during this whole movie. Did that take you out of the film? It took me out of the film.
Dude, 1000%. Plus Shadow's 1.5 million years old. And this guy's I'm just gonna go climb up a mountain. Dude, I'm half his age. If I climbed up 4 stairs, I'd be out of breath.
You're telling me Shadow doesn't have hip dysplasia yet? That fucker, if he doesn't have it yet, he's going to have it after this.
Oh, no
all right?
doubt.
With no doubt at all. Bark.
That and also Chance would 100% have mud all over him because he's that type of dog.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, they get to a top of a mountain and they look at more mountains. Sassy and Chance are correct. They're like, Shadow, how do you know how to get home? And he's like, I have a sixth sense. I'll be able to get home. Because, you know, dogs always find their way home. They never go missing at all. Right, Joey C?
That's right. Never have gone missing a day in my life.
Well, I mean, we've never gone missing from home because we've never actually had a steady home. But I'm sure if a dog had a home, they'd be... Cats, however, they go missing all the time. But that's because they're dirty traitors that'll just move in with someone else. We're like, oh, I don't remember where my home is. I'm going to be cute and move in here.
If it fits, I sits.
Meow.
Space Cat, do you have any loyalty to your owners?
Meow.
So Chance is loving this because I don't think he's ever really been out in nature before. Because I think he was from the city. And he's like, oh my God, there's bear poop and raccoons and skunks. This is all new to him. This is like an amazing discovery.
Did you see the size of that bear shit that they showed?
It was the size of Sassy, apparently.
It was
They make a
wild.
point to call it out that it's the size of Sassy. You're right. That is wild, Joey C.
That is wild.
Are there any
indeed.
other things that are wild? Please, if you see something wild in this video, please point out that it is wild.
Let me tell you, I will point out that is wild.
Now, let me tell you, is old and dated. We're all on the it's wild train
Yes.
now.
That is wild in and of itself.
Yes.
What was that?
They hear some stories from Shadow about a mythical moose that comes out and eats animals. Have you ever come across a moose before?
Not a moose, but a lot of weird humans with sticks with little strings at the end of it trying to massage me or something. So I really had to, get away from it. It kind of spooked me out,
Oh, I've never had to deal with that, but I've always heard about moose, but I've never seen one. I don't think they're real. I think they're a myth. I think it's a myth started by cats to keep us out of the woods.
No, they're
You're
actually
right.
only in Canada.
What is Canada?
I don't know. My human talked about it before.
Huh.
Oh, I don't know what a Canada is, but it begins with the letter CA, so I'm thinking it's a cat thing, and I'm against it. What about you, Joey C?
No, definitely. That sounds like a plan conspired from cats to scare us, Wolf.
Yes, I don't trust big cats. Not big cats like lions, but big cats, the institution that try to keep us dogs down. Okay, so yeah, he tells about the moose that might come to eat them, and there's like every single thing in the forest that night is screaming and yelling at them. The next day, they try fishing. Now, everyone knows that dogs are great fishers, right, Joey C?
Oh, of course. We're the best in the world. Are you kidding?
I mean, I've never done it personally, but I'm pretty sure I could pull it off. But this movie, again, Big Cat, is saying that only Sassy can get the fish for them. Space Cat, this is clearly fake, right?
No. Like, when you think about cats, you think about fish. So it only makes sense.
But why are cats better at getting fish than dogs? I don't understand.
I have better reflexes.
That's bullshit. That's bull. Another big cat lie.
That's
Big cat
propaganda.
lie.
Yep, propaganda. I'm calling it right now.
Yes. Okay. So fishing leads them into an altercation with bears. And apparently dogs and cats can talk to each other, but they can't talk to bears. I've never run into a bear, so I didn't know this. I don't know what the limits are of what animals can talk to what other animals. But yeah, I do like Chance is like yelling at these two bear cubs and he's acting all tough until the mama bear shows up. And I was actually played by Bart the Bear. Remember Bart the Bear? Is Bart the Bear
Wow.
still alive?
I
No,
don't even know who
Bear.
Bart the Bear is.
Bart the Bear was a very famous bear actor. And they were in a film with Anthony Hopkins called The Edge, which was awesome. He was called the John Wayne of bears because he was such a big bear actor.
He was a big boy.
He was big, and he's been dead since 2000. He lived 23 years.
Wow. Rest in peace to a very manly bear.
Yes, yes. And I don't know who plays the mountain lion that we see later in this film, but who cares about mountain lions? Am I right?
Not me.
I
That's
do.
just silly.
Shut up, Space Cat. The dogs decide to swim across the water because they have to get to the other side to continue on their incredible journey. And of course, Sassy the cat thinks she's above swimming. Why won't you just get in the water?
I think you'll see why.
Well, no, that's on her. Okay, so Sassy decides she's going to go further downstream and jump over rocks onto a log. When really she could have just swam when the water was calmer and had it done with. But no, God forbid she gets wet. Why are you guys so afraid of the water? It's so much fun.
It's not.
I don't know. Joey, say, do you like the water?
I love the water. Do you know how little I bathe? It's fantastic to get all that dirt and poop off me. I
know
don't
what?
lick it off like cats.
Yeah, you guys are gross. I mean, it's one thing to smell someone's butt, but to lick it, that's just not me at all.
You lick your own junk.
Huh?
You lick your own junk.
You know, you gotta clean the hardware. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want it to be nice for when a new dog comes and smells me. God, you don't understand these things. You're such a jerk. So yeah, Sassy gets on a log and falls into the water. And that bitch goes, oh, sorry, not bitch. She is not a female dog.
Yeah, she is not a dog.
Yes, sorry. Misappropriated that. So that broad just falls off the waterfall. Now, I heard stories of young boys, let's call them Tony, like my name and your owner's name, who used to get really sad at this scene and actually cry whenever the scene came on because he felt so bad for the cat. If I were to watch a cat named Sassy go over a waterfall, I wouldn't care at all. What about you guys?
Yeah, I was, it wasn't me, but I was in the front yard of a house that so happened to be watching this show. And the owner was clutching his kitty cat. Not his cat, I'm sorry, his dog.
Oh,
dog.
yes.
We don't like cats. His
Yeah,
dog
obviously.
crying during this scene. And he didn't look very manly. And I thought, that
No.
guy, he really needs to raise the manliness there.
You should never feel bad for cats when they get hurt in movies because you don't know if that cat threw up in its owner's bed the night before, okay?
Or peed on the carpet in the basement.
Yeah, Space Cat, you're oddly silent during all of this. I assume you were very upset by Sassy falling off the waterfall.
I'm still not over it. It just is so sad.
Is this the worst way for a cat to die, to go over a waterfall?
It's the worst way, but it was heartbreaking. I'm devastated. Meow.
I mean, it's not that bad because then we get like a whole section without the cat for a while, and that's pretty good, right, Joey?
Yeah, I stopped watching the movie after that.
No, it was the best part of the movie. And plus, they have 9 lives. They'll be fine.
How did they get that and we didn't?
Cats are better.
Oh, that's
We also
stupid.
live longer.
Why?
Our people
You're
are
not
being
as well
depressed.
liked as us.
We're better.
Why? You know, dogs had to like work to be like friends with the humans, and cats were just kind of there. Like dogs are like, hey, humans, we're gonna help you hunt and do all this, and cats are like, hey, I ate a mouse. Can I shit in a box of sand in your house? And the humans are like, I guess.
See, at least when we shit, we fertilize the grass out back.
Yeah.
They're too good for that.
Cats are polluting because that shit goes in a bag, goes into a landfill. Why do you guys hate the environment so much? You don't want to hang out in the woods. You don't want to hang out in the water.
I think you're just jealous.
Spoiled.
Yeah, it's not right. And then the Egyptians worshipped you guys as a god. I don't know why.
Anubis
It's
was a
unreal.
dog.
Wasn't he the god of death? How did we get stuck with that one? That's bullshit. Anyway, so Sassy's dead, thank God. The dogs in this movie, I guess because they were friends with her, they feel really bad. Shadow feels personally responsible because he's the one who put her on the journey. And Chance is like, oh man, relax. And then Shadow lectures him on responsibility. He's like, no, we have a responsibility to our friends and our owners, and I should have been more careful. And then Chance learns throughout the film to be more responsible. He's very motivated by this speech. He's like, oh wow, I now have a sense of like community and stuff, and I also feel bad for Sassy. And I understand if I was in their position, but Space Cat, I've known you for a day. If you went over a waterfall, I wouldn't blink. I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, good riddance, right, Joey C?
That's right. Death to cats.
I'm totally calling the pound once we're done this.
Whoa, no, that's too far.
You guys are getting put down.
I didn't say I was going to kill you. I just said I wouldn't be sad.
What's the difference?
Anyway. So yeah, these dogs decide they're going to mourn their long lost friend. And by that, I mean they mourn for like one night and they're like, okay, anyway, back to the old grind. And then a bird watcher, and this I think is when the movie's ruined, Joey C. A bird watcher finds Sassy alive. I don't know how she survived that. I don't think there was any coming back from that.
No, she was basically dead. And the guy was like, that guy had eagle vision. He's like, what is that furry thing in the ground? Ran over to it. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the 9 lives thing does work, but if you had 1 life, I don't think you'd ever survive going over that goddamn waterfall. That was pretty high up. So yeah, Chance is trying to hunt rabbits, and he totally fails because he hasn't learned patience yet. And then, of course, the rancher comes home, and she's like, where are the dogs and cat? And he's like, they're not on the cattle call with you? And she's like, why would that be there? So she realized she fucks up. I like that she calls the park ranger. I wouldn't... Would a human bother to call a park ranger for any of us? I doubt it.
Not a chance.
No. I'm sorry. If I was a human and like a pet disappeared into the wilderness, I'm like, well, obviously it's dead. I'm not gonna waste a park ranger's time with this.
What else are they doing?
Watching for forest fires.
That's Smokey the Bear.
Yeah. He's the best park ranger, right, Joey C?
That's right. 1,000%.
He's a totally real bear. I've personally never seen him. I've looked for him. But he's a busy guy, that's Smokey the Bear. I like to think if we did hang out Smokey the Bear, we'd all be, well, not you, Space Cat, but me and Joey C would be really good friends with him. What do you think, Joey C?
Oh, 1,000%. I bet he has some killer smoke, man.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I'm a dog and I don't understand that joke, Bark. So the family finds out that the animals have all died a horrible, painful death. They've probably been eaten and they're already been defecated. And Peter blames the dad for all. I'm sorry, not the dad, the stepdad.
Bob.
He's
is
like,
his
it's
name?
all your fault. Now all our dogs are dead. And they're bear shit, the size of a cat, apparently. The Peter needs to calm the fuck down. It's weird they didn't go more into like the family dynamic. Because they don't hate the stepdad. Peter's probably the most unsure of him. But like, what happened to the previous dad?
Probably died.
Yeah, either death or the divorce was very rocky. You see, he was on a business trip in Wisconsin, and he found a mistress, and the wife found out, and it was just a whole thing. So
Ooh.
Bob's, professor. He's a well-rounded individual. He's a good dude.
He is. He's a good guy. Well, maybe those kids' dad will come back dressed as a British nanny. Maybe that'll happen.
Was that my 6th life? Oh, I'll just say it was my 4th.
So Sassy's chilling with this guy who was nice enough to save her. And she's like, oh, cool. Thanks or whatever. And the dogs are being stalked by a mountain lion. I hate this scene, Joey. I like the beginning when Chance was like messing with Sassy, but when a bigger cat goes after the dogs, that's where I think the movie lost me.
1,000%. It went over the ride. Over the fucking line.
Yeah, did you start watching the movie again when the mountain lion came, Space Cat?
I did. I thought it was payback.
Wow. So they can talk to house cats, but they can't talk to big cats in the wild. Do the wild animals just not know how to talk? Is that what we're led to believe here?
I guess so. That's what it seems to me in this movie.
Yeah, they're not civilized.
It's true. Not like us.
We're from
I
the
mean-
streets.
I mean, we're dirty strays, but at least we live in society, not up in the woods.
Exactly.
I mean, one day we will go to that farm upstate, though, and I'm real excited about it.
Me too.
I do like this kind of callback, though, because earlier they had Chance do the seesaw with the cat, and now they're like, wait a minute, there just happens to be a rock that, even though it's gigantic, is very easily movable. And we can launch this mountain lion like a seesaw. And they freaking do. They launched this thing. And I don't feel bad for the mountain lion, obviously, because it's a dirty cat and it deserves the pain that it gets. But I could imagine some people watching this would hear the sound that the mountain lion made and would actually feel bad for it. What do you think, Space Cat?
It was almost as devastating as when Sassy went over the waterfall. Meow. Almost.
But I do like the line that they say after this. This is actually a really good line. It should have been the tagline of the film. They say, dogs rule and cats drool. What did you think, Joey? See, I thought that was a really nice line that everyone can agree with.
No, it's the greatest line ever. Best part of the movie by far.
Yes. And Space Cat, I think you agree with us on that.
It's speciest.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, if he had said cats rule, dogs drool, that would have been a problem.
No.
But as you see, cats cannot be discriminated against because historically they've had more privilege than dogs.
Yeah, we're OP.
In fact, they were treated like gods, apparently. So, why don't you check your privilege, you dirty cat? All right.
Get back to the streets.
Yeah, a cat can just wander into anyone else's house and people will let it in. Dogs, they're like, oh, does it have its shots? Does it bite? Does it still have its balls? I don't know why they're always trying to cut our balls off. I don't understand. I like having balls. What about you, Joey C?
I love having them. I clean them all the time. I love just playing with them, playing by myself with them. I just can't imagine why anyone would want to get rid of these jewels.
Yeah, and how am I supposed to make more dogs that I don't father and I just abandon? I don't understand. I lose that opportunity if they
It's just
neuter
cruel.
me. It's cruel. Anyway,
I want to keep my balls, Wolf.
Yeah. And now Sassy, who, like most cats, shows no loyalty to anyone, this man, this bird watcher, decided to spare her and nurse her back to life. And she hears the two dogs bark and she's like, okay, you old fucker, goodbye. Just abandons him.
No regard for this man that literally saved her life.
Yeah. By the way, she's running back to be with the two dogs that almost got her killed. I don't know why she's in a rush to see them. She should come back as like a revenge, like with knives and stuff. Like, how dare you?
She was getting treated like a princess in that cabin.
Space Cat, would you ignore an owner or a person who helped you?
To go to dogs? Absolutely not.
Space Cat, are you nice to the people who try to help you, or do you go to the vet and pee yourself and scream at everyone so loud that I could
scream bloody murder. How
Space
dare
Cat.
these peasants touch me?
Space Cat, you seem like the kind of cat where if your owner got you groomed and he went to pick you up, he would hear you screaming all the way on the other side of the building, and then the groomers would say something like, she's not allowed back here unless she's sedated. I feel like you're that kind of cat, Space Cat.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, figures. So yeah, they all reunite, and then Chance is trying to become friends with like this cool squirrel. It turns out it's not a squirrel, it's something called a porcupine. And he gets these quills in his face.
Toaster? He bit me with his butt!
Why are all these wild animals so mean to the dogs? I don't
That's what I'm
understand.
saying. It's just cruel. I couldn't even watch that scene. I had to look away.
Yeah, so now Chance has got like porcupine quills in his face. It's all gross. Peter goes to the cops, filling out a missing persons report for his 3 animals, which is just a totally normal thing a human should do. It's definitely not a waste of time. It's definitely not embarrassing. Right, guys?
I love how in this scene the cop is a jerk to the kid at first, and then by the end of it, he's like, "Hey, kid, good luck, son." And it's like, dude, you just flipped so fast.
I don't know what the kid was expecting there. Why would he go to the human cops to look for he's an idiot. And
He's
it'd be one
desperate.
thing if it was like the second kid, like the youngest kid. But Peter should know better. He should know better. It's that bad parenting. probably from the dad. Ted is here to fix the damage that the dad did to these kids.
That's right.
So yeah, the dogs and the cat, they find a little girl who's lost. She's having not such an incredible journey in the woods. I don't know how she got separated from her family, but she's lost. But they stay with her all night long. The next day, a rescue team finds the little girls, and then they recognize the animals from the flyers that Ted made. Ted is actually a really nice... Oh, wait, his name's not Ted in this movie. It's Bob in this movie. From the flyers that Bob made, who was played by Ted from Airplane. And they're like, wow, these are the dogs. And the cat. They do that. They're like, and the cat. That's not as important.
Yeah, what are the chances of that?
Yeah, the family gets notified, and they're excited. They're going to see their pets again. And they're singing annoying songs in the car ride together. My family was not that kind of family. I'm sorry, my dog family was not the kind of family that would sing and bark in a car. Did you guys ever sing with your dog families or cat families?
Nope. My owner's dad used to yell at my owner about lawnmowers and stuff. So, yeah, no songs, just lawnmowers and manliness.
I hate lawnmowers. They're too loud and they hurt my ears, much like vacuum cleaners. Those things are the worst.
They scared the shit out of me.
I don't understand. I know some dogs are brave enough to attack the vacuum cleaners. I can't do it. Those things are the devil. Space Cat, do we agree on this?
Yes, I can agree with you on that.
I think we've found some common ground here between the three of us, that vacuums are the devil and they need to be destroyed.
Yeah.
The animals, they go to the pound, and they don't know that they're actually being taken care of. They assume they're in jail, and they're not happy about it. Sassy breaks Shadow out, and she's also fat-shaming some poor guard the entire time. Space Cat, I don't know why Sassy felt the need to do this. Why are you guys so mean?
I do the same thing to my owner.
Poor guy was just trying to do his job.
Space Cat, you're not slim yourself, okay? Maybe you shouldn't be throwing stones, all right?
I am beautiful.
I believe you're diabetic, so no.
That's not my fault.
It's not your owner's fault. Maybe a previous owner. So yeah, Sassy breaks Shadow out. Try to rescue Chance because those humans are doing awful things like pulling the quills out of his face. They break out of the clink. I do like this scene where Shadow gets a sixth sense. He's like, wait a minute. I'm getting a feeling that we should go back because he doesn't realize that the family drove by. Now, I don't know. I don't have this sixth dog sense, but I'm assuming it's real if it's in a movie. What do you think, Joey C?
No, I think it is because I've definitely felt it, when McChickens are around and other hamburgers and stuff. But anything other than food, I'm not sure what they're talking about.
Food sense. I get. It's the people part, maybe because we don't have consistent owners.
That's true. We haven't felt love and affection in many years.
That's true. Space Cat, would you be able to feel if your owner was around?
No, because I don't care.
Yeah, typical cat.
Yep.
Typical fucking cat.
Yep. Fucking shocker.
So yeah, they're almost home. They make it to the town, and they somehow know that it's the right town. I think all human buildings look the same to me.
Yep.
But they find it, and they're like, okay, it's just on the other side of these tracks. And then Shadow falls into a big muddy ditch that was in the middle of train tracks. I don't know what purpose this ditch serves, but he falls in and he can't get out. And this part is really sad because Shadow's like, I can't do it. This is the end for me. And it's like sadder when you realize that the actor died, like not too long after recording those lines. I guess I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. Like, there's so much that one line where he goes, do you think it makes me happy to admit this? I'm like, oh man, that real actor probably knew that it wasn't too much longer. He put a lot of emotion into that line delivery.
Do you think it's easy for me to admit I can't do it? I'm too old.
And if I was a human child, I'd probably cry at this scene too, but I'm a dog and I don't do that.
That's right. We're very manly creatures.
Yes. Joey, see, if you were a human child, would this part make you teary-eyed?
1000%. I would be uncontrollably weeping.
Space Cat, what about you if you were a human child?
Human child, probably. I could see why it would be sad, but me personally as a cat, I just don't care.
What about a human adult? Would this make you cry?
Oh, yeah, I'll answer that one for you. 1000%. Good God.
I'd say
Well-
it depends on how mentally ill the adult is.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joey, see, if I was a human adult, I would not cry at this. Adult man. If you were a human adult woman, then cry all day long. You guys do it anyway. But human adult men should not cry at all. And I assume very manly people like your owner, Space Cat, did not cry at the scene as an adult. Chance, because he learned his lesson about being together and never giving up. He has to go to Shadow, and he's like, Shadow, you can't give up. You have to like learn your own lesson that you taught me. Although the circumstances are a little different here, Chance. The scene ends on a cliffhanger. Or I guess it's not a cliffhanger. They're not hanging on a cliff. It hangs in a ditch dweller because they're dwelling in a ditch.
There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good one, right?
Boo, meow.
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd. Okay. The next day, the family, they're back home. They're sad, but they're trying to get over it. They're like, well, we're bad owners and our animals were mutilated by a bear, probably. But at least we're home now. We're playing ball together. And then they call Bob Dad. And Bob's like, wow.
I
And I'm
did
like,
it. I finally have a family of my own.
I found their animals who then escaped and died. They're letting me be their dad because points for trying, I guess.
That's right. It was all because of the flyers.
It was all, yeah, because Peter earlier was like, who made these flyers? And she's like, Bob did. It's such a weird dynamic because, like, I don't know why Peter would dislike Bob. Like, he doesn't really do anything bad or anything. But yeah, they call him Dad and everyone's happy. And then they hear animals barking in the distance. And instead of just being, I don't know, it's probably a neighbor, who fucking cares? They're like, no, this is the most important thing in the world. The mom comes out and they're like, shut up, woman! We're hearing dogs! Which I think is a totally normal reaction to say to
I
people.
agree.
And then one by one, each animal comes back. First, it's Chance, who decides he now likes Jamie.
Yep.
Even though he had no strong feelings about him leading up to this. He's like,
Yeah.
I now suddenly care.
Yeah, he was an asshole in the beginning, and now he's like, oh, I love you, buddy.
Yeah. And then Sassy's real thrilled to see Hope.
Girl power.
Yes. And I'm sure if you were separated, you would run to your owner like this, Space Cat, right?
No.
Let me answer that question again. Or ask that question again. If you were hungry and you were separated, would you run to your owner like this?
I'd run to my owner. I'd run to a random person, whoever. Just feed me. Meow.
So my question is, did they plan it to be like this? Like, hey, let's all come in one at a time.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah, 1000%. That's what they
Yeah.
So
do.
let's make this super dramatic.
Like,
It was the cat's idea.
like the end of Return of the King, where the Fellowship all enter the room one at a time. Space
Yeah,
Cat, is Return of the King being reviewed in the store this month?
Probably not, because my owner's, I think it's his dad. He got sick, so
Oh, and I guess your owner couldn't shoot the episode.
yeah.
Well, I hope your owner had an emergency episode that could be done remotely, possibly using animals as footage to replace the Return of the King episode, or else it's going to be a bad month for him. Anyway, the last person, or the last animal to cross the hill is Shadow. He survived. And my tail, well, I'm a English bulldog. I have a nub. My nub was wagging back and forth over how excited I was about this. What about you, Joey C?
Boy, my tail was wagging like crazy. You wouldn't believe how fast that thing was going. I almost took off.
Whoa! I've heard that that's a real thing that can happen.
That's what I
But
heard.
for some reason, humans cut my tail off. And also, they shoved my nose into my skull, and it's really hard to breathe. I'm sure they had a good reason to do that, though.
You should run. You should go get help. Who the hell did that to my pal?
I don't know. Some people hundreds of years ago thought it was cool. I don't know.
Tony, I'm sorry.
I'm sure they had a good reason. Anyway, everyone makes it over the hill. Everyone's reunited. And they never get lost again, except for in the sequel, but I've never seen it. Wow. What a film. Space Cat, thanks for bringing us in here to review this film.
Yeah, get out of my house.
Oh, wow. Well,
We're
well,
not
Space
welcome
Cat,
here.
obviously we're animals and we don't have social media, but where can we find more episodes of this show that your owner does?
It's Hack the Movies, I believe, something like that. I know there's a Patreon. I think he sometimes streams on, I think it's called Twitch.
Oh.
I don't know what he does. Yeah.
And that's all under Hack the Movies. Does he have like any like co-hosts who have socials that people
Yeah,
can
there's
follow?
this one really cool girl that comes over sometimes, and she always like gives me affection. She's really cute. Yeah, she I think it's stuff like hearts on Twitter and then stuff like games on Twitch.
Oh. Now, are there any manly men on the show who also have socials?
Yeah, there's like the manliest man I've ever seen in my entire life. The official Joey C is his name. It's crazy. Like, he's so man. I wish my owner was as manly as him.
I mean, from what I've heard, I feel like your owner sounds manlier than this guy.
No.
Oh. Well, anyway, that's it. We're just two dogs and a cat talking about a movie about two dogs and a cat. What a great video. Definitely not an emergency episode at all. Yeah, all right. Well, Space Cat, I know this is your place, but you should get out of here. Me and Joey C have to hump each other for dominance now.
All right, you
Yep.
guys have fun with that.
All right, Joey, let's go.
Yay!
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.